What it do, IB geography students? I'm going to make you a how-to guide on making annotated maps in real time, really. So you can do that on your IA. On the IA, you have to have a map. I mean, you should have a lot of maps, or a few maps at least. But sorry, I don't know why I'm doing this. But more importantly, you got to have one map in the first section that talks about. I should have had this already pulled up. That talks about the context, the geographic context of your field study. So I think that's right here. Locational map. One or more locational maps are presented and follow mapping conventions, providing clear information and details of the fieldwork location. All right, so that's kind of like goes with the description of the fieldwork site. So basically what they're looking for is that you provide a map, but it's not just a map that you pulled offline. You actually did something to it to show that you understand how to make maps. Now I have two examples here. I'm going to try to get Google Maps and Google Earth unlocked for you if you can't get on it. Google Earth is good for adding a little more data than you would normally otherwise have. And it gives a lot better imagery. But if you can't get on it, you can't get on it. And it might be a little too intense for what we're currently doing. So this is up to you. Like, this isn't my IA, this is your IA. So how you want to present things, the amount of information you want to put in is up to you. It's just going to affect, where you're at in terms of score. So really quick, though, I'll show you how to make annotated maps and like what kinds of things you should be doing. I'm going to use Google first. Google is really good because it has different layers of kind of base maps that you can use. So you can do one where it shows the topography, if that's important. You can do a traffic map that's going to show the main corridors of travel. It's got the ridge to river system. Sorry, I just put the menu out there. Get out of here. There's several other ones that they have. Sometimes you can layer them on top of each other. There's more that you can click on. I really like the it depends. Like the satellite one's pretty good. There's like an open street one that I can't find for some reason. They have an air quality one that's helpful. Anyway, let's just go back to the default one. Anyhow, so what you want to do is make sure that you know what our area was. So if you forgot, you can look on the cover sheet where I gave you the basic map. You might want to clear. This has a lot of things that we don't need, which you can clear out later if you want to by taking off some of these things. But anyhow, we want to snip something that is the location that we studied. So we started at the Capitol at Jefferson, and we went from Jefferson all the way down to Myrtle, and then we broke it up into these streets. Now, you have a choice. You can do one giant map like this, or you can break it down however you want into the different sections if you want to zoom in. Okay. On big maps, it's going to be a very similar thing. They have their different layers right here. Traffic map. This is just for your location, and then you can change some other things as well. That's all I really saw. It's not quite as nice as Google Maps, but really, what is as good as Google? Anyhow, so let's just say we have our spot. I'm going to do it. I don't know. I'm going to do it kind of wantonly so that I can just make sure I get everything and call it good. I can't see quite everything in here, but there we go. All right. Okay. So I'm going to do the snipping tool, and it's going to come up, and then I'm going to take everything from, we went all the way to 13th, I think. So 10, 11, 12, 13. All right, I'm going to take this part right here and this part right here, and then I'm going to go all the way over to about second. All right, this is going to be a little bit more, and I'm going to pause this just a second. I'm going to pause this so that I can answer the door. Yep. All right, that was Glenn. You'll hear about it tomorrow probably. All right. Sorry, I'm making a video for geography. Yeah. Okay. Anyhow, so I snipped that. Here it is. One thing we want to make sure is that we have the scale in here as well. So they already give you a scale right down here. So I'm going to what I'm going to do is I'm going to click Edit and Paint. and then I will put that in there. Yeah, we'll have that right there. I'm going to minimize that for now. I'm going to get the scale really quick. So this is every couple inches is 100 feet basically. I'm going to put that in my map as well somewhere. Okay, so I'm going to move that down to the bottom so that it's there. And then the other thing too that we need is a compass rose. That's another thing that you need. You need scale, compass, title. All right, everything else is pretty much the same here. You might want to save it really quick so that you can use it later. That's layers. All right, now what we have to do is we have to figure out how do you want to display the geographic context for the people that are going to be looking at this, because we're basically looking at this entire area here. Now there's a couple different features that you can use. This does like this to resize. I usually use like a brush shape. Okay, you can decide how fancy you want to be with it. Yeah, probably brush, and I don't know, probably test out the thickness. Hang on, I want to see if I can do. Can I use my finger? Yep, I can. Okay, I don't have a stylus, so I'm gonna have to use my finger for some of this. So what I would do is I would probably outline some of them. So now that you have your brush, you can decide what you want to use. You can add text to it too, but you're gonna want to identify either A, your stops, or B, the sections. And again, you can do 3 different maps if you want to put in there, but basically what I did is I have a brush, I got a color, all right, and then I'm gonna say we went from Myrtle down to second, and then we went up, and then we went around, and you guys went second, third, fourth, fifth, I think. So that was like section A. And then what I might do in black is just mark down the different places where you went. Like I don't remember exactly where it was, but the different corners you can do here, you can do here, okay? And you can identify different spots. You could also do something where you do like a text box, all right? And you type on it and you do like East 1 or something like that and make it a little bit bigger and bold it potentially, perchance, make it smaller, and then you can actually just place that wherever you want, as long as you didn't make it too small like I just did. I made it too small. That's what you get. Okay, anyway, so then once you have that, you can move it around to different locations. Okay, you can decide where you want it to be. I'm having trouble doing that for some reason, but just put it in the section that you want, E2, all right, and then move it around to where you want it. Anyhow, you can also always go back this way if you want to do it, and then eventually you'll save it. There's other ways you can reshape the image as well, but I think a lot of this is just going to be drawing. You can include shapes, so if you want to do like a square around something, and this actually might be easier, and just do like this was our section right here that we did, and then move it around. Okay, you can fill it, you can make it different colors, you can do interlocking things, so that helps as well. So these are all ways that you can edit the map. I'm going to show you one more thing that I will do. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of those. Get rid of my numbers. Okay. All right. Once you have it, you can copy it, or you can save it as like a picture. All right. You can also select different things. Anyway, there's a lot of things you can erase parts of it, tons of stuff. Copilot can tell you what to do. Anyway, if you go to PowerPoint, this is where I would suggest keeping your maps, making a PowerPoint presentation, and it just can be like a blank content one. And then actually what I would do probably is do a title and content. So I would do like geographic context, Boise CBD. All right. And then I would put it in here, and then you can resize it, just try to maintain it. Now, one thing you can do now that you're in PowerPoint is you can kind of almost make it like a mini poster. You do this in Canva too if you want. But what you can do is you can insert like a text box or other shapes. And this is probably how I would do something where I might label like West Zone. Okay. And then what you can do from there is you can insert a shape like an arrow, and you can say, all right, this is our West Zone, and you can say whatever that you're pointing at is that zone right there. That I had it backwards, but you would want to do it around this way. Sorry about that. Anyway, you can do that. You can change the outline. You can include shapes, things like that. So that might be good if you want to annotate it or put like a legend or something on there. Or if you want to do like insert a text box and do like all the stops, like a legend. Okay. You can do like east stops, and then you could have them listed out like that. So those are several ways that you can do that. But anyway, that's how I would suggest doing it for our purposes, is take a snippet off of Google and then add to it the way you want, and then save your maps that you're making into a slideshow so you can just grab them and do different things with them when you insert them into your essay. Let me see how much time I have left now. Oops, sorry, that's an AI thing. All right, 4 minutes. The other thing you can use is Google Earth. Google Earth is basically the same thing. The only difference is Google Earth does a better job of letting you draw and create things. It also has an AI Gemini helper that like you can ask it how to do things and it'll tell you. It also can like place different points and you can label them and have different colors. The other thing it does is it has a lot of great 3D imagery, and you can kind of change the grade, and you can look at various angles as well. I'm trying to remember how to do this. That's like this. So you can tilt it a little bit more and kind of see like a more like a horizon view. If you want to do something like that, that can give you a much like richer example. Or you can do a little bit of both, and you can kind of show like a street view and do something that's more like a 3D view, something like that. As long as you're adding stuff to them and demonstrating where it is. The other thing too I forgot is make sure directional arrows are on there. So somewhere draw in a directional arrow or copy and paste it somewhere. Yeah, so that's how Google Earth works. The other thing, if you want to be super fancy, I only want people to do this if they're really into it, is you can sign up for an account in ArcGIS. ArcGIS is you can get the free version of the program, and it will let you do a whole bunch of stuff, but it's a little more time consuming. The maps are a lot better, but it's going to probably make you hate your life a little bit. So I would maybe start off with doing the Paint, the Microsoft Paint, the PowerPoint, and the Google Map. Or Google Earth, and if you want to get into this, you definitely can. Yeah. All right. So that's the basics of map creating, I think, for annotating maps and identifying things. If you have any questions, let me know, but I'll post this on YouTube, and we can get into some more intense maps later as well.